Hi, folks. Chris Voss here from thechrisvossshow.com, thechrisvossshow.com. Hey, we're coming to your blog post I want to share with you. Be sure to hit the subscribe and the like button and give us some love. Tell your friends, neighbors, family, relatives, dog, cats, raccoons, things in your backyard, things of that nature. We are doing a versus comparison today. What are we versus comparing, you ask? The AT&T iPhone 5S versus the AT&T Samsung Galaxy S3. We're putting these two babies head to head. We're going to see who wins and come out. Be sure to check out our good friends at AT&T.com with the fastest download upload speeds in the mobile market. Okay, so let's take a look at the cameras and how they operate on both these devices in their particular OSs. With the 5S, you're looking at a thing where you can control the flash with your on-off auto, of course, here at the top just by clicking on it. You can choose between slow motion video, video itself, photo, where you can take a photo. You can take a special square photo that's designed to make photos that you can post to Instagram. You can take a panoramic photo also if you so choose. So you've got several different things you can take and do there. You also have some different kind of filters you can take and use and apply to the screen if you so choose. You can do that. Some people like those sort of features there. You've also got HDR on and off. You can do at the top. You can switch between your front-facing cameras and your back-facing cameras and all that sort of good stuff that you can do there. You can see here that on the video, of course, you have control of your on and off switch, etc., etc. On the Samsung Galaxy S3, you have a whole mess of different stuff that you can take and do. It's very customizable in the way it's set up and very feature rich. Let's get into some of the details of that. So you can see here you have a video recording button. You can switch between video and taking photos. You've got some settings area. You've got some different things to adjust flash and different things of that nature. You can even take and have different setups where you have single burst shot, multi-burst, face detection, share shot, HDR, buddy share, low light, carbon. You can do different things and edits that way. You can switch between your front-facing camera, flash, and all that good stuff. You can even use different scene scenarios that you can take and have, much like the iPhone 5, where you have different filters that you can use. Now, in the settings area, you can, of course, do several different things to edit your shooting modes, scene modes, exposure values, all that sort of good stuff, white balance, iOS, metering, much like you could on a more expensive camera, GPS, tag, anti-shake, etc., etc. These are all different things that you can do in the settings. And then in the video settings, you also have several different things you can do where you can do self-recording, flash, recording mode, different effects that you want to take and do, exposure value, white balance, all that sort of good stuff. You also, of course, have the filters, and then you can also control whether you want to limit the size of the recording on video for texting video to other people. So that's kind of good, and that helps.
Okay, folks, so what we're going to do here is we're going to take and do a comparison of the iPhone 5S photos against the Samsung Galaxy S3. Now, given the Samsung Galaxy S3 is a couple generations old, but it's still a very popular phone, so what we're going to do is compare the photos and see which ones you like better, and the videos, I should say, too. So, all these photos were taken with my feet in the same place. There's a bit of different perspective that the cameras take on the Samsung versus the iPhone. So that being said, you'll want to, of course, understand that as we go through the pictures here. Okay, so what we have here is we have the iPhone 5. This is a photo that's taken in complete and utter darkness. Complete and utter darkness. So this is up to the lamp flash to be able to shoot and find its target. You can see here things are really clear, really well done, very well lit, and I can almost read things over here on the dials and stuff like that. Everything's really, really good. Now we're going to flip to the Samsung Galaxy S3. We're going to take a look at that photos. Now here's the Samsung Galaxy S3. Now there's some good light here. And you can see there's a little bit more yellow here in the iPhone. So there's some good light in the Samsung S3, but as you can see, the detail isn't quite as good or as sharp. So definitely much more sharper with the iPhone 5S as opposed to the S3. But a little bit more light, and it's more true to the light you can see in the S3 over the iPhone 5, because my a washer and dryer is not yellow, it's white. So, kind of some interesting variations there. We have noticed with the iPhone 5 that it does have the yellow, greens, probably reds jacked up. And so it does pick up a lot of yellow and red. You can kind of see that where it's blasting through here. The yellow is kind of popping. And we've noticed that also in the video camera. So, but I think overall I'd probably want the iPhone 5 camera, especially the way it's definitely getting a great picture here, and you can see elements of the stuff in it. Let's go to our next photo, which is going to be this photo here, and let's take and switch over to this, and we will go to here. Okay, now this is another complete and utter darkness photo. This is taken in the middle of the night with no lights on, etc., etc. And we're taking this photo in complete darkness. It's up to the flash to illuminate the room and everything else. You can see here that the iPhone 5, which is this, did a much better job at capturing the room, much better job at capturing elements in the room. There's some fuzziness and some distortion, etc., some noise, but you're going to get that from this type of shot anyway. If we switch to the Samsung Galaxy S3, I think there's a little bit of movement here, or blurriness, or it just could be the photo in itself. There might have been a slight movement, but as far as I'm concerned, not quite as good as picture. This is much more clear. You can actually see the lines on the side of the refrigerator where it just looks like dust over here. So I think the shot is much better with the iPhone 5, and of course it's a 2-year newer camera. Most likely it should be. So let's move on to the next element of what we want to take a look at. So we'll go here. Now, this is a close-up of the blue microphone on the Samsung Galaxy S3. You can see it here. Fairly good photo, I think. Here is another photo close-up of the iPhone 5S. Now you can see much more detail here in the rim and the chrome. A little bit more yellowish and darker up here. You can't see the body as much, but you can see much more focus on the gears here to the side. We'll flip back. About relatively about the same. I see a little bit more focus on the gears on the iPhone 5S picture. Now this is the Samsung Galaxy S3. You can see here, you can see the details of the body a whole lot more. So it's very interesting how you can't see that it got blown out in the iPhone 5S. I'd almost say this is a better picture, but it's really up to you. I'll let you guys decide which one of these is the better picture for you, and you can decide which one works the best for you. So let's go to the next picture. This is a picture where we're taking off of a gradient sort of box that we have that we like to shoot off of. I think pretty much the iPhone 5S wins this one. You can see it's very bland. The colors tend to run together on the S3, whereas here they're very well defined on the iPhone 5S. I think that's a pretty easy call on this one. Now, with the Samsung Galaxy S3, this is kind of a macro shot where we're coming in really tight, really close. We're trying to shoot the best that we can to, get as close of a macro shot as we can. It really kind of struggled with it. The S4 is a little bit better at doing these shots. Here also is one where we're trying to get a close-up macro shot with the 5S. We kind of get the shot over here on this corner. You can see some of the detail that's in there, etc., etc. This is really trying, and I think the 5S definitely wins this one when it comes to getting more detail, etc., etc. And just looking a whole lot better over the Samsung Galaxy S3. So I think the iPhone 5 definitely wins this one. Let's go to the next shot we want to take a look at. And this is a tree that we have in nearby, and it's got some yellow flowers, and it's interesting to see how well they pick up the difference between the yellow and the green, and the detail you might have in them. You can see some detail over here in this palm tree and over here in this palm tree. So let's flip between these two. Here's the iPhone 5S. Now, one thing we've noticed with the 5S is there's kind of a blandness to it. It's supposed to have ultra pixels. Now, the camera that's in the S3 is an 8 megapixel camera, but you can notice that this is one of the problems we started seeing with it. There's a lot of greens, yellows, and blues that are kind of over software outputted, if you will, in both these devices. See, I can see some of the I can see some of the veins of the leaf here. I can see some right here in the detail on the S3. Once I move to the 5S, it's a little bit hard to, well, you can't hardly see it right there. You just have to know it's there. And it's pretty much blown out for the rest. But if you see here, there's a lot more detail, a lot more natural color in the S3, as opposed over here, this isn't a natural color. This is very dark. These trees are very ugly and dark. They look like they're polluted with oil or something. Whereas here, this looks like normal, and this is what I'm seeing when I'm looking at real life every day. So a very interesting thing we noticed with the 5S and how it's taking pictures, where it almost seems like there's a software thing in them that's kind of popping the pictures a little too much. Maybe it's because it's got, you know, bigger pixels or whatever. So here, once again, is the iPhone 5S and the the Samsung Galaxy S3. Now, once again, this is more natural color. This is what I'm looking at when I'm standing out there shooting this. And this is not natural color. Now, it definitely kind of pops a little bit more. As you can see, it kind of almost feels like it has an effect of some sort of filter, which it does not. But it's very interesting how that's coming out, and there's too much green going on here, just overwhelming amount of green. And while it might look cooler to you, this isn't a natural photo. This is a natural photo of what I'm seeing, where this isn't. So one of the things I've been concerned about with the iPhone 5S is this additional pop of color that it has. Here is the Samsung Galaxy S3, very natural looking photo, very good photo, very pretty nice. Here you can kind of see the iPhone 5S popping with the greens and yellows. You see what I'm talking about along here? If you really look at this photo, the green and yellows really stomp out at you. See how this is much more natural color here, where it's actually a light brown, which it is. And then over here we've got much less yellowing. This is a grayish sort of chimney that's here. Where you go over here, it looks completely yellow. And here we've got a lot of yellow, just a lot of bleed-in yellow going on over here, especially this wall. Even the driveway looks kind of yellow. It's very interesting, and you can see a little bit more detail here, and where this is all just kind of a green-yellow mess that's running together. Over here you can see pretty good detail on the pavement. It's pretty much the same once you go both ways. It's just interesting how the phones are each interpreting color and outputting them. So take that for what you will. Here we have that's a palm tree shot. Fairly good shot with the iPhone 5S, a bit far away. Here's with the Samsung Galaxy S3. For my money, the S3 definitely is a lot nicer in showing the details of the leaves. Really is up to you. I mean, some people would say, well, there's more color in this one. There's really not. This is a very normal look to what I shot, where this has been messed with. So, if you, in the world of filters, maybe people like that sort of thing, but it's really up to you. Okay, so now let's look at video and how it presents itself on both these devices. What we're going to do is we're going to start with the iPhone 5 device, and we're going to see how that comes out on it. Let's take a look. Now, this is a completely in your dark video that I'm taking and recording here, and in so doing, it's up to the lamp flash to light up the room and fill the room and be able to get focus there. So there's the iPhone 5S. It does a fairly good job. I've seen better with the Samsung Galaxy S4, but the iPhone 5S does a good job. So we have that, and then we're going to go to the Samsung Galaxy S3 here. As you can see here, struggling a little bit to get the focus. Light's not quite as good. Focus isn't quite as good. It's definitely having some issues at getting the focus. Colors do seem to be a little bit better, where they're kind of whitish, but it's definitely struggling to keep the focus if you can't tell. I think technically the iPhone 5S is going to win this one, although I did kind of like the fact that the colors looked a little bit more white and normal, where here these look gray and kind of dingy. So, but there you are, and like I said, the colors, here's your yellow once again, really sticking out with the iPhone 5S. Let's go to another completely dark situation. This is done in the complete dark in my kitchen, of course. You saw this shot earlier. And can't hardly see a bloody thing in there. This is the iPhone 5S. This is running the full lamp flash, and as you can see, not a lot getting through the cord. You're not going to see much difference here, I don't think, between these two. Well, actually, no. I can see the counter. I can see over there. I can see the Mountain Dew. So yeah, the S3 actually did better than the iPhone 5S in this test. How about them apples? And it looks like I think this was a thing where we had paused the video. So it looks like this is a thing where I think we're partway through or paused the video. So as you can see, wow, the S3 actually did better in this lamp flash area. Here's your iPhone 5S again. Wow, that's really amazing. I thought these were much more closer, but now that I'm looking at them on film, there you have it. All right, so let's go to full-on video in the daylight. So here's your full-on video in the daylight. Once again, lots of yellows, very powerful green, very strong blues up here. So in the video that we originally looked at with this for the Samsung Galaxy S4, you could see the bricks in the S4, but they're blown out on the iPhone 5S. Let's see what we have with the S3 and how it compares. So here's our S3. Once again, yep, there it is. You can see the bricks are much clearer, not quite as clear as they were with the Samsung Galaxy S4, but much more defined. The colors here are much more natural. The gray is there, less yellow, etc., etc. It's not all yellow blown out. So we'll look at this one more time, then we'll go back to the thing. But if you notice here, the colors are way more balanced than they are with the iPhone 5S, which leads me to believe they've done some manipulation, or it's just how the sensor is designed. So here's our iPhone 5S. Look at that. It's all blown out. I can't see any detail. This looks yellow over here in the chimney. Very interesting how this is turning out. Lots of yellows and greens. Very overwhelming and not very well defined on the iPhone 5S. So I got to tell you, it's kind of a close toss-up. It looks like I'd rather have the iPhone S3 pictures over the iPhone 5S. So there you have it.
Okay, so there you have it, the benchmarks. All in all, we like both these phones, and they're both available at our good friends at AT&T.com with the fastest download and upload speeds. They're the folks who have shared these phones with us, so we share them with you. And be sure to give us a like, subscribe to us on YouTube so you can see all the latest and greatest phones as they come out to the marketplace. Thanks for coming by the ChrisVossShow.com. Be sure to give us a like, subscribe, and tell your friends and neighbors, and watch all the other videos we're going to be doing of these great reviews on the new and latest phone from Apple, the iPhone 5S.